May the peace of Christ be with you. Here's a quick explanation about what our faith formation program here at St. John's is going to look like for 7th and 12th graders. Give you a little background history, give you a sense about where we're going to go with it, and what is involved for the families that will be involved in our program. Here's the background. Pope Francis wrote a letter on behalf of the church to young people about a year and a half ago. It's to young people and it's about young people. It's called Christus Vivit. Christ is alive. Pope Francis claims that young people have a young heart that allows them not only to see injustice for what it is, but also to have both the hope that something can be done about it and the creativity to solve the problem. As we're in challenging times through this pandemic, St. John the Evangelist Faith Formation Programming is going to follow the example of schools, and we're not going to be gathering, at least for the first part of the year. But we also believe that there are young hearts out there, even if they're quarantined away in the houses, that are seeing injustice in the world, and that these hearts have hope and imagination enough to address what is right in the world and also to understand where things might need a little work. Over 50 years ago, a predecessor of Pope Francis, Pope John the 23rd, saw how we can apply the teachings of the church to what's really happening in the world. In his 1961 encyclical, Mater et Magisterium, which is my bad Latin translation of Christianity and Social Progress, he identifies a process of seeing, judging, and acting as the way we should proceed. He identifies that there's 3 stages that we should normally follow in trying to put social principles into practice. First, one reviews the concrete situation. Second, one forms a judgment on it in light of some principles. And third, one decides what the circumstances can and should be done to implement these principles. These are the 3 stages that are usually expressed in these terms: look or see, judge, and act. It's important that young people are able to grasp this method, Pope John the 23rd said, and to be able to practice it. Knowledge acquired in this way does not remain merely abstract, but is seen as something that must be translated into action. Although the phrase look or see, judge, and act emerged in Catholic social tradition, it describes a process that many people throughout history have used implicitly or explicitly to problem solve. They observe situations, they evaluate them according to principle of good and right, and they act on them in ways to improve the situation. Martin Luther King, for example, looked at the situation of injustice of racism in the United States. He denounced it as morally wrong and acted out of his faith convictions to advocate and eventually die for racial justice. The first step of seeing involves social analysis. In this stage, we work to get a complete picture of the situation, historically and structurally. We do this by exploring how a particular situation is developed and changed over time, and what structures such as the economy, social or cultural norms, politics have related to the situation. For instance, take a look at the water crisis that was happening in Flint, Michigan. And we can view that in light of how maybe systematic racism was working in forms of segregation and unequal resource allocation. In other words, the majority of the inhabitants were negatively impacted by the policy made related to water in Flint, Michigan. The majority of those who were impacted were African Americans. The second step of judging involves evaluating the situation. You can evaluate it by any standard that you hold consistently in your life. Maybe it's a scout oath. Maybe it's the 10 Commandments. Maybe it's lessons you learned from a book or a movie. As we look towards judging things in the world for what is good and what might be fixed, we're going to be looking in our faith formation classes towards the Bible, and especially about what we know about how Jesus operated in the world. These 2 steps, seeing and judging, lead to the final step of acting. Action's a charity, and actions of justice are necessary. Charity responds to the immediate needs, like donating canned goods to soup kitchens, that kind of stuff. Justice aims at addressing the root of the problem, like the reasons why people go hungry in the first place. It's important to look and see the world for what it is. It's important to consider and judge the world as well. But our faith works when we do something about it. It can sometimes be a struggle to make a direct connection between an unjust situation and religion and social action. In fact, many of us feel uncomfortable trying to keep all these areas in our life separate. The see, judge, act process challenges us to bring everything together and to integrate all these areas of our lives and perhaps ourselves and begin to act in new and sometimes possibly uncomfortable ways. This is a serious activity and it's not meant for young people alone. Adults, especially parents, are strongly encouraged to accompany their young people in this process. We're not even going to do classes the same way we've done before. We're going to send you videos of discussion area items, and we're going to break the videos up into see and judge and act. If you were coming to classes, that would be probably about 75 minutes of class time, let alone the commute to and back and forth from church. We're just asking to have brief and quick conversations. We'll set up the conversations, we'll do the teaching, but parents and young people, we're asking you to have good conversations. Just listen to one another, consider one another's opinions, consider each other's thoughts. You may see things differently, you may look at the scriptures and judge things differently, and you may choose different actions, but we're inviting you into the conversation. You don't have to have all these conversations all once. We're going to send you 3 different videos. You can do it all once if you choose, or you can do 10, 15 minutes on a Sunday afternoon. You can do another 10 minutes on a Tuesday night, and you can do another 10, 15 minutes on a Thursday after school. You figure out how you're going to do it. You figure out the process. We're going to send the materials to you and make things available to you. If you have more questions, please contact me and let me know. Please keep watching our emails for more and more information, and do register into the program, Faith Formation Program, if you've not already done so. God bless you for all you do. Our thoughts and our prayers are with you. We know this pandemic is a challenging situation for your family and for your schooling and for your lives and for your sports and for lots of things. We don't want to add any more to your challenges, but we do want to invite you to take just a couple minutes and figure out how God and how your faith can continue to be working in your lives in this situation. Thanks. God bless you.